Hi, my name is Albert Ju. I'm a senior at Korea International School here in Bundang, Korea, and I'm studying in AP Literature right now. And we just finished a unit on poems, so I guess you could say I've familiarized myself with poetry in the last few weeks. A little bit of background information about myself. I'm from Portland, Oregon originally. I was born and raised there, and I lived there for 15 years. It's on the west side of the United States. And about 2 or 3 years ago I moved to Korea, and I've been attending international school here ever since. So the fact that I was born and raised in America until I was 15 means that my Korean isn't that great. In fact, my friends say that it's really bad. And I feel like that's the only way I identify myself, as the Korean guy that can't speak Korean. And that's sort of sad. But if I could choose one other thing that really identified me, I think it would be music. I just have a passion for making it, playing it, listening to it, just whatever to do with music. I feel like I have a special connection for ever since I was born. And I feel like that segues almost perfectly into my own interpretation of poetry. I've just gotten so used to listening to songs, especially the ones with the lyrics about love and relationships and, difficult times in life, that I feel that the lyrics and songs are kind of just poetry set to music. And I know that's kind of a generic way to express it, but I really feel that's true because they both express themselves in a way that normal books, normal novels, those kind of things don't. Poets tend to focus more on the style as well as the content, and they pay a lot more attention to where to place words and how to place words and how to connotate different meanings from words that we would often read and kind of just get the literal meaning from. So I discovered this poem, one of my favorite poems, while I was studying the poetry unit. It was actually sort of random. I just chose a poet from the poet laureate list. His name is James Dickey. He wrote a poem called The Firebombing. And it's not really the content that interests me. I'm not really that into war or anything like that, but I really like the way that he wrote it. I like the style that he used because it made the poem so intense, it felt like as if there was background music to it. As I listened to music, I noticed that at the sad parts of the song, when the lyrics are talking about some sad experience, the music behind it gets sad. There's a violent change in the person's life in the song, then you all of a sudden hear the music get really loud and then really soft. I think he kind of had this in mind when he was writing The Firebombing because he placed his words in, exactly the right place to create this sort of imagery of violence, of aggression, of confusion. When he talks about explosions, you can feel a bang and you can feel the dust kind of whiff across your face. This is James Dickey's The Firebombing. Gun down the engines. The 8 blades sighing for the moment when the roofs will connect their flames and make a town burning with all American fire. Reflections of houses catch. Fire shuttles from pond to pond in every direction, till hundreds flash with one death. With this in the dark of the mind, death will not be what it should. Will not, even now, even when my exhaled face in the mirror of bars dilates in a cloud like Japan. The death of children is ponds, shutter flashing, responding mirrors. It climbs the terraces of hills, smaller and smaller, a mote of red dust at 100 feet. At 101, it goes out. That is what should have got into my eye and shown the insides of houses. The low tables catch fire from the floor mats, blaze up in a gas around their heads like a dream of suddenly growing too intense for war. Ah. Under one's dark arms something strange scented falls. When those on earth die, there is not even sound. One is cool and enthralled in the cockpit, turned blue by the power of beauty in a pale treasure hole of soft light, deep in aesthetic contemplation. Seeing the ponds catch fire and cast it through ring after ring of land. Oh, death in the middle of acres of inch-deep water.